Hi, I'm the Space Quest Historian, and welcome to Little Red Lie, a game by Canadian game developer Will O'Neill, a developer who's just a ray of sunshine, happy-go-lucky all the time, really great guy. He is a great guy though, I know him on Twitter. I played his last game, Actual Sunlight, which was just a barrel of emotions, most of them negative. It was a game about basically hating your life so much you want to jump off a roof, which you, in the end of the game, spoiler, do. So his new game is Little Red Lie, and apparently it's a game where the only interaction you have with the, world around you is to lie in various degrees. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. Now, his last game was made in RPG Maker. This is made in Adventure Creator with Unity. So, okay, it's giving me instructions now. Before you begin, please find your keyboard and press something. Would you be willing to answer a brief questionnaire regarding confidential details of your personal and family finances? Your answers will be securely saved and stored and will influence several narrative events in the game. Sure, I'm gonna do that, and maybe just, cut out all the, cut out all the bits I don't want you guys to know about. Thank you! In the previous year, was your personal income in excess of something excluding any funds transferred to you by parents, grandparents, or another guardian? My math is not good, but I'ma say no. Do you regularly receive emergency funds from parents, grandparents, or another guardian? I'ma go with no. Would you rather commit suicide than live in significant poverty? Tough one. I'ma go with no. It's always an option later, I guess. Thank you. Little Red Lie is now in possession of sufficient information about you to proceed. Would you like to continue? No. It is back to the old pixel arty RPG Maker kind of things. Identical cops too. In Dystopia by Sarah Stone. The way I see it, dystopia is nothing but a distraction from a reality that will be even worse. Cool. In dystopia, faceless stormtroopers tower over the horrified masses as they cling together for warmth, all with closed eyes, and yes, they do look, well, they do have faces, but they're wearing sunglasses. Also, who's the homely dude in the posters in the background? This is like, vote for me, I have no face. The guardsmen grit their teeth and pull their triggers on throngs of desperate protesters, cutting down waves of innocence with sinister certainty. As you can tell, we're into the lighthearted mood. But in reality is nothing like that. Reality. Really. In reality, the police don't need to be scary to scare you. In reality, the courts are so clogged and the cops are so callous, and the cage is so cramped, that the thought of getting lost in the labyrinth of their logistics scares you more than a bullet to the back of the head ever could. In reality, nobody needs to shoot you at all. You get knocked on your ass by a $1 zillion sound cannon and run away to save the eardrums you don't have the savings or the health insurance to lose. Wow. Like I said, the dude's a ray of sunshine. And I really like his writing. That's why I went all the way through Actual Sunlight back in the day. It's on the channel somewhere. And I was hoping for more of the same, like, really well-crafted, cynical, it's not dialogue, what am I, narration, whatever. He's a really good writer, and he just knows how to get to, like, just the heart of your societal fears and all of that junk. In dystopia, tattered rags or drab uniforms are dutifully worn by all. Met eyes and encoded gestures are made in shadow as the steel doors crush together. Ragtag rebels rediscover the unity of long-lost ethnic identities, and in each other they find hope, strength. And even if their failure is assured, in dystopia, they gain the one thing their tormentors can never possess: love. But in reality, we have now formed an RPG band of, what the hell? Okay, well, these are some colorful people. We're kind of missing those. The only people who even notice you are strangers trying to look down your shirt. What? In reality, the only people who even notice you are strangers trying to look down your shirt. In reality, your best friend is a cell phone. A good one, if you're lucky. In reality, you never cared about other people until the other people were other people like you, and you'd put them up the river if they crashed on your couch for longer than a weekend. And who can you blame? In dystopia, it's easy. In dystopia, the evil and cruel are always up the hill, down the dungeon, through the woods, everywhere. They want your blood. They're in fact vampires. You should be careful. They want your babies. They're vampire baby stealers. They want your brainwaves. They're vampire baby stealing, brainwave sucking, or the shell of your bodies. They're pod people, basically. The heat of your sexy, starving orifices. Wow. Oh shit, but reality is never that interesting. In reality, even the most horrible and seemingly incomprehensible power always ends up being the same old song, a bunch of assholes trying to get rich. In reality, the people frantically obsessed with money are never those people at all. In reality, the people whose whole life revolve around money are the people who have no choice, because they don't have any. Or they're investment bankers. I mean, we've all seen American Psycho, right? Here's my business card. It's embossed. And in reality, apparently reality has a lot of caveats. The wealthy no longer need a thing from anyone else at all. Not to die in some war, not to live in some place, and not to build something that a robot has built in the time it took you to read the sentence. In dystopia, and also reality, all of our creations churn midnight oil into a hateful sun. Diseases boil through skin, faces are rendered tragically unfuckable. The destruction of Mother Earth turns everything into a chimney sweep, a hooded nightmare, an asphyxiating tinker. But in reality, the sky is blue as ever, the air is fever crisp, and the bright stars within it are what you look up at while you wait for an ambulance after being stabbed over an apple that now costs $20. Is there a game in this somewhere? It's just, I mean, I love the dude's writing, I really, really do. At some point, I'll probably get to control someone, I think. In dystopia, your only possession is a torn photograph. You end up bartending at a neon-soaked nightclub for futuristic gangsters. But in reality, you could never get that job. And if you were forced to become an outlaw yourself, you'd probably end up being the victim of a far worse crime that you could ever bring yourself to commit. Well, so this is a cool place. So dystopia and reality. I think what he's saying is that dystopia is what we imagine the world to be, and reality is not that, but possibly worse, or at least as bad. Uplifting shit, isn't it? In dystopia, you finally matter. You're finally going to make a difference. Ah, yeah. Every oppression ignites you with anger that spurs you into legendary action, but in reality, you're exhausted. Forever exhausted, and turning a bright shade of red. You think dystopia is some big story? It's not. It's just a shitty little epilogue that goes on forever. Yeah, because we all want to be in that cyberpunk, us against the man kind of thing. So it all ends up in nothing. And reality is that we're just some fucking little cog in some huge machine, and the machine doesn't give a shit about you. I think Fritz Lang did this in 1920 with Metropolis, if anyone cares to go dig through Grandpa's old VHS tapes. Kennedy Station. And no, still not in control of anything, but I have a feeling we might be in a while. Under the bridge, in the parking lot. This is the Red Hot Chili Peppers collected song title excursion. They're waiting for me. Alright, here we go. I can move, I can lie with the Z key, whatever. I can highlight shit with the X, and I should probably have been paying attention to more of that, but never mind. Oh, look at her go! Look at her go. You know what? Rain always makes me want to tinkle, so let's just head for the toilet. Lie about leaving Toronto. Lie about gig economy. Lie about taxi cabs. So instead of interact, it's just lie. Interesting. Can I cross the road and lie about that as well? Oh, precariously close to the road there, I think. There is no way I can negotiate with these people if I don't have a cigarette first. And I don't want to start that conversation on why I've started smoking. You can smoke in the rain like every other failure of a femme fatale, Sarah. Even if you already had something like half a pack today. Well, go ahead, light 'em up. Conceal chain smoking. Press X to highlight updated interactions. Okie dokie. Alright, I'll have the cigarette. There's an ashtray over there by the corner. And then I'll use that washroom to try and mask it as best I can. Yeah, okay, that's all well and good, but can we first lie about the taxi cab? Because that would be awesome. Ah, she stepped right onto it. Whenever possible, people ask me if I take taxis or use a ride-sharing service. I realize that taxi cabs are the most compassionate answer, whether it's true or not. The joke is on them, though. I can't afford to take either anymore. I'm just willing to argue about it because at least it makes me seem middle class. Intriguing. Okay, ashtray. Is that this thing way over here? Ah. Wait. Oh, this thing. I thought it was that thing way over in the others. Anyway, you know what they say. The only way to start quitting is to have one. Ooh. Nice bit of close-up there. Snow on the ground, rain in the sky, heat in the night. That's a Leonard Cohen song, isn't it? We figured they were lying about how long this kind of climate change would take. And then it turns out that even the worst pessimism wasn't half as bad as it already was. Who knows? Maybe this cigarette is the least toxic thing I've inhaled all day. Probably. Still, if I could quit, I would. No, I don't think you would. Too bad you only feel bad after it stops feeling good. Maybe that attitude is a little piece of what happened to everything. There's a lot of internal monologuing going on here. Alright, that was a good sick. Fuck it, I didn't even want this. I'm just delaying the inevitable. And there should be more delaying, because now we have to wash our hands. Nope, we have to monologue about it first. I have to tell him the truth. Tonight is the night. I wonder what this thing is building up to. Lie about leaving Toronto. Lie about being disgusting. There you go. I got a toothbrush, perfume, gum. This should do it. Or at least well enough to be able to say it's second-hand. The thought of somebody actually using one of these toilets is unimaginable. And yet, here I am. God, I have to quit. Look at my fingers, my teeth, my hair, my face. I should stop putting cigarettes out in my face. The real reason they try to hook you young is so it can happen before you're even capable of imagining what looking like shit would look like. As an ex-smoker, I agree. Alright, think I'm good. Cool. Alright, let's get the plot moving. In the tiniest car ever, on the hugest fucking bridge ever, before you know it, by Sarah Stone. So we're gonna get another one. Yeah, this is back to old school actual sunlight. My face is kind of obscuring it, but there's a little text crawl behind. Before you know it, you feel like you're right back where you started. Back at home, back to childhood, back to depending on people who should be depending on you. And you're so defined by what you're not. Never married, never successful, never belonging anywhere or to anything, that you don't even know who you are. Still, it's strange to be past what feels like the point of no return and still so far from the end. Even the clicky sound just made a little sigh. Nice one. Thanks for coming to get me. You were working late, says Daddy, with a stone face. Steel and stone. Oh, we got dialogue options. Everyone works late now. Yeah, big project. They can't really trust too many people with it. Ah, so it's the lie we're going with again. Nifty. Mom also has a very disappointed look on her face. I understand that I broke... fuck it, I'm gonna move my face cam, hang on. I'm over here now, and also mirrored. Alright, I understand that I broke the chain, that without creating a future for it, even the closest family will eventually run out of things to talk about. I'll ask a question about some distant relative, or a restaurant we haven't been to in a long time, just to break up the rhythm of the rain. But I don't really care, and I don't think they believe I do. The saddest thing, though, is that I think I used to. At least a bit. You just don't see the point. I mean, what does it have to do with you? Literally nothing that goes around you has anything to do with you at all. You're just a sack of shit, dragging yourself around from one day to the next. What could you even say about anything that wouldn't make you look like a fool? But still, you have to say something. No, you don't really do. I mean, I've had great drives with friends of mine, and we haven't said anything for an hour or so, just enjoying the nothingness. Of course, we were drunk at the time. Even if it means pretending to be somebody you used to be in order to hide in order to hide how you no longer feel like you are anybody at all. Well, amen to that. What are your plans for the weekend? Okay, what should our lie be this time? Feign interest in own life. So that's my action key. Sorry, what? Oh, I missed it. The weekend. What are you doing? Oh. Okay. Wait, what? Okay, I'm gonna watch movies that I've seen a million times, even though I'm not gonna do that. Promising to meet up with people and then never getting dressed. Sleeping and eating. You know what? I'm gonna go with the movie thing. Probably get coffee with Claire and Steve. I'm pretty tired though. You know you're a loser when basic questions about what you're doing on the weekend feels like a humiliating interrogation. Everyone looks so morose too. Well, maybe you should go somewhere new. Like, off this fucking bridge or something. Meet some new people. Oh god, I hate that line. Maybe you should go meet some new people. Nah, I know plenty of people. I'm embarrassed to be around regular people my age, and everyone older than me weirds me the fuck out. I have nothing in common with younger people than me. I'm embarrassed to be around regular people my own age, and everyone older than me weirds me the fuck out. I have nothing in common with people younger than me. I'm starting to reach that age now. Yeah, you're right. I should see if anything is going on in the city. Seems dangerous downtown right now, though. I might get assaulted, might get mugged. You'll have that on your conscience. Thanks, Mom. Did you guys read about that rapper guy who got shot? People other than rappers get shot. Sometimes we'll pull up next to a car at an intersection and I'll look over to see another 38-year-old woman, one who isn't sitting in the backseat of a car being driven by her elderly parents. She will seem powerful, yelling and waving her arms at somebody on some kind of conference call, or dressed up looking like she's heading out for the night. Neither of those seem like, fun. Well, the last one, kind of fun, but yelling at someone on a conference call. Or listening to her kids tell her about what they did at school, while whining and asking for ice cream. But as soon as she looks back, I look away. I don't want to see the type of person I wish I could be, see me wishing I could be them. Holy shit, that's a mouthful. There's some nice graphics though. Will's really upped his game on this. And worst of all is how the space and silence that should be my life gets filled up with guilt instead. Filled with the unspoken sound of how much they've done for me. How much they sacrificed so that I could be somebody. And here I am, absolutely fucking nobody. And sure, I could tell you I love them for it, but what would it matter if I did? There isn't a single thing my love can do. Well, she is just a happy bundle of nerves, isn't she? I won't survive without my parents, but at least they're the only people who even care if I'm alive. You can't have less to lose than that. Hope you're all feeling good. What did you eat today, Sarah? Helpless. They treat me like I'm helpless, and I couldn't contradict them if I wanted to. I am starving. I'm gonna go with that one. I had a salad with chicken and a granola bar. Well, we have leftovers. Oh, good, goody, goody. If you want, I want. All right, maybe a bit. Oh, now we switch to some pixel view. Oh, a nice bit of rain. Probably can't hear that, but, Sarah, hold on a second. I have to tell you something. I'm a vampire. This game's gonna switch gears on us. Stay hydrated. The way he said that. What does he know? What could he know? Yeah. I'm gonna get suspicious. Is something wrong? We need to talk. Oh, that's never a good way to start a conversation. Mom has had a relapse, but she seemed fine. She was fine when I came back. My sister. Must be my sister. I'ma go with Mom. Dad, stop being cryptic. Just tell me. Your mother is worried. Oh, goody. About what? What happened with her this time? No, about you. Oh, the way he exhales now. The moment he even thinks about her. Your sister is beyond being worried about Sarah. Mom is worried about you. Surprise. Jesus Christ, he knew I would think it was a relapse. He always does this. He says half of something and pretends it's just his personality. This is a weird dialogue system. Okay, I'm gonna go with the middle one. I'm fine. I don't know if it actually picks, like a different option, or well, do you think she worked too much? Do you think I'm a lesbian, or too much of a slut to be taken seriously, or not enough of one to find somebody in the first place? See, I have no idea if I pick one of these, if it's actually gonna change the dialogue or not. So I'm just gonna go with anything. I don't know what that means. It means she wants you to be happy. That your happiness is more important to her than anything else. And also she's dying. The unsaid thing, always, with all the weight it carries. I'm a-trying. And your sister. You know she's gonna need your help. And you know it won't be easy. There's a lot of shit going on in this family. If you had someone that you could turn to when things got tough with her, it might make all the difference. Oh, God, he always says this, knowing I'll defend her. He wants to hear somebody do it. Even if he feels like he can't. She doesn't need me as much as you think she does. She's more capable than you know. Now, this is the point where the game is kind of ahead of us. She is. Like, there's something going on with Sissy Poo, and Mom apparently has an illness that can relapse. I'm thinking cancer or something. We're not really given the specifics, so we're just, as an audience, we're just sitting here going, alright, so when are you going to get to the point where we actually get to know? Because think about having a protagonist in an adventure game that's ahead of the player. It's never good in my book. I know this is like a mild example, really, because I feel they're just going to get to it at some point, but if the protagonist that you're playing as has more information than you do as a player, that's not good. I'm not into that, at least. It feels like the player and the protagonist should be like synergetic. We should know as much about the protagonist and the protagonist's world as the protagonist does themselves, unless you're playing like some amnesia person or something. It's just my thing, but anyway, again, mild example here, because I have a feeling like Captain Picard here is going to get into the specifics in just a tick. You've always been just like me. You're strong, you don't complain, and you've never been afraid of responsibility. I don't complain, except up here. But sometimes I think you can't see that there's more to being strong than being on your own. This has got to be something more than my romantic life. But what? And why now? What you don't see is that I would never have been strong enough to take care of everything without your mother, or your sister, or you. Is he gonna blow his brains out right in the car or something? That would not be a Will O'Neillian thing. It has to happen gradually, slowly. It has to eat away at you, tell you that everything around you is actually very, very awful, and then you direct the player to commit suicide. That's how actual Sunlight worked, anyway. I know I make it seem that way. It isn't that way at all. It's family, Sarah, family. Anyway, got you tongue-tied there, so I think that's what your mother wanted you to know. Okie dokie. Well, I'm not sure how much more of this I can take. Is that it? I couldn't tell by the way he locked eyes with me in the rear view. Was it intimidation? Or fear? Or pity? It's hard to read your parents as people. You don't want to do it. No matter how old you get, you want to believe nothing could shake them. No, that isn't it. I have to tell you something important. Okay, here it comes. And I don't want you to say anything about it to your mom. I have a curved penis. Ah, that's not it. Cancer. That's what got his mom. Heart failure. That was grandpa. Alzheimer's. Runs all the way through his family. I'ma go with cancer. Runs in the family, sadly. Just tell me. We can't afford to take care of your sister anymore. None of those things. What did she do? It isn't just her. The medication costs for mom, they just keep going up. What else did they put her on? I don't even want to know anymore. Leeches, I think. Between the two of them, it's a mountain. And are they even helping? Is there even any point? Not that you can ask that. I'm sure they're helping if the doctors say so. We'll get through it. Your sister doesn't listen to me, Sarah. At the very least, I need you to get her to stop buying whatever she feels like off the internet. I'm not trying to pit you against her, but if she doesn't knock it off, we won't have any choice but to start charging you rent. Me? So I'm paying for my sister's online spree shopping. That's interesting. It's the last thing I want to do. I know you're working your tail off trying to get your life back on track, but things are that serious. Back on track from what? And maybe if you can put it to her like that, if she knows how hard you're working to rebuild, maybe some of that attitude will rub off onto her. However, we doubt it. Maybe. I mean it, Sarah. You've done everything you could, despite how tough things are out there. You can do it. I know how much it must have hurt to move home and rent out your condo. I sold the condo, I was renting it myself with a roommate you've never met, until I couldn't even afford to do that anymore. I don't miss it. I was lonely there. But you still own it, and this is still Toronto, and you've still got the equity from the down payment plus all the years you paid into the mortgage. Probably not. I borrowed all of that equity, borrowed against all of that equity years ago, not to mention how much of the profit I had to use to sell it, all of which is long, long gone. I think we get the idea. I think we get the idea of this game now. Basically, all the dialogue options are you're true, what you're actually thinking, and then what she says is the little red lie, and every time you have an interaction, it's a lie. It's basically a game about how much we, not like outright, flat out lie, like, hi, I was on the moon, it was awesome, but in a more sort of, what we think is not necessarily what comes out of our mouths. So, yeah, I'm going to stop this. This was just a one-off. I'm not going to go through the entire game. I just wanted to show you guys the game so you can go and support Will O'Neill and buy his game. It's on Steam. There's a link in the description. And I'm doing that just to, keep his ray of sunshine going. Because oh my god, he needs the sunshine. So, well, I just poked myself in the eye there. It was to, get that little teardrop just casually falling out of the corner of my eye. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this. What a kick up the positivity this was. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you kids do. Just leave me a comment, because I really love the comments. And thank you. I will see you around the Chrono Stream.